bank holiday, so probably not a lot going to be happening. Also in gold, 15 minutes and 5 minutes, good sells, and then as well again on the 15-minute, quite a good sell there. Closed in pretty well on a set 4 or set 3. However, we're going to go ahead and take a look into it a little bit more. Taking a look at the MTX charts first of all, there's nothing on the, there's one on the 5-minute, just came out about 8 minutes ago on New Zealand dollar, US dollar. I'm going to put my stop loss just below that daily pivot. I'm going to go with a set 4, and I'm going to go and execute that one just there. And then what I'm going to do from this point is I'm actually going to extend that back up to about here is where I want to get an extension. Reason why I've put my stop loss there below the daily pivot. Daily pivot is a support zone, and as you can see, the last sun bounced off of that daily pivot. So let's see if we can hold that position and continue to move up through the charts. If we come out onto this one, onto the 4-hour, we can see that we've had quite a steep drop. We could be coming all the way back up, but we're going to keep our take profit at that zone. Okay, so next one that we're going to move on to, gold. Nothing there. We did already complete that signal on the 5 and 15-minute. 5-minute completed, 15-minute also. We almost got a buy signal there on the 5-minute charts, but unfortunately the daily pivot is in the way, so it did not complete. And then what we're going to have a look next is over to the Nasdaq. So we've got 2 Nasdaq charts, so we should have either way, we're going to have to work with one of them. It's over here, and this is where we're going to get a, maybe we're going to try and get a little release on it and see if we can better our position at the moment. So as you know, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look for the support zone on the Nasdaq. See if there's a support zone just here at that, at the Fibonacci from last week. We can see that's where it stopped out. 1, 2, resistance, and then over here we've kind of messed around there for a little while. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set another pending hedge just below the fib. I'm going to set that one there, and I'm going to close this order. So I'm going to close that one with the profit, and then hopefully we can adjust this up a little bit further each time. And 3, 2, 1, there it goes. And that is our order closed. So now we're in on the market into a long position. We should get a nice bounce off of this fib and back over towards that vola box. Anything above this level where we've just closed it now, we can actually mark that out. Let's say just here. Anything above here where we can re-hedge our position is going to be bettering our position in the market. And we have 8 more minutes left until the opening. George, hello, hello, and welcome back. Long time no see. So for some other markets, what we can do, we can actually go ahead and set up a vola box here on this one. And then over here on the Dow Jones. Bit of a tricky one. We've got 2 big numbers which we can take. So we've got a big number just here. And if we go to the other one, we can go ahead and take that big number also at the top. And so far, that is pretty much all we can do. We've had a bit of a stop out there on Bitcoin as well, just at the 57 earlier today, just over 57K. So very good. Remember, the all-time high is around 64,000, so we're coming very, very close to reaching for new all-time highs on the crypto market. So if you do have any other cryptos, the rest of them should follow through as speculation. And if we come over here, we've got the power tools. So the power tools for Nasdaq indicating we've got a support zone just over here. So there's our pending hedge just there. I wouldn't want to drag it all the way down here below that support zone. I would like to keep it as close as I could towards the top, as I don't want to be creating such a big hedge. However, we do have a resisting zone just there at the top at the big number, so kind of where we just pulled back from. So from the daily high, we can see that's where we pulled straight back from the top of that resistance zone, and then the next zone is just over here above the 15,000 mark. If we come over to the Dow Jones, it's also currently just pulled back from the resistance zone, as we can see there in the power tools. So 15-minute chart there on the zones. So these zones here, we've got the red areas which are resisting zones, and the green areas which are supporting zones. We've also got a few other indicators there like gaps, so opening gaps. We've got the pivot points and Fibonacci's. We also have the opening and closing lines where we can put those in. And we have the highs and lows of the day also. So we can see that the low of the day is just down here. But really, we just want to keep an eye on those zones and the big numbers, and to get an overview of what's going on in the market, where we can try and push ourselves up to. So if we come back over to this chart in the Nasdaq, we can see that we're just trickling around that same zone here of where we closed that hedge, or where we've released that hedge. We closed the hedge trade. So now, as I said, every step above here that we go is just going to be putting us into a much better position. Expect some kind of resistance at the 14.8, most definitely. However, if we can get this moved above that 14.8, it's going to really help us throughout the week to reduce it. If we come over to New Zealand dollar, US dollar, we can see that we're currently coming into profit now. Small profit. So we're aiming for just here. As we can see, currently at 34 euros 47, and we're aiming all the way up to the top. We could put it all the way up to here. However, I want to keep it at a reachable distance, lining it up with the previous high of this sun. And that's it so far. Gold, we've got no signals available. Follow boxes are quite far away, and also MTX is moving a little bit slower. So no signals for us there at the moment. So currently 3 minutes until the opening. We've got a few pending orders set. So if we go over to the Vola box, we can take a quick look. We've got 3 pending orders. We've got 1 currently open, which is our hedge from the 23rd of last month. And we want to keep an eye on this one. Here we can see that we're also currently at a bit of a stop out zone from previous highs around here, and lows after the breakthrough and retest back up, and then it came straight through, stopped, and continued to break, resisting. Let's hope that we're going to get a push or a breakthrough this line at the moment. Remember, the goal is here with this trade. We don't. I mean, it would be great if we can get it all the way back down to zero, of course. But at the end of the day, we're keeping an eye on the equity sides. And if we can get that back up towards 16, that's where we wanna get a close on that finally. Hello to Achim as well. Thank you for joining. And we've got now 45 seconds until the opening. And let's see what's going to happen. Hello, hello to Christoph. Thank you for joining. And here we go in 5 seconds. 2 and 1, and there it goes. Bit choppy there at the opening. Let's hope that it's going to be in our favor. More and more into Ralph as well. Thank you for joining. And let's go ahead and take a look at the New Zealand dollar here quick, as I might get a close on this. Pretty much stopping out at the exact same zones here. Oh, and we've broken down there on the Nasdaq. Dropped straight down to the Fibonacci. Let's hope that we're going to get some good enough support to help us kick it back into play. And we've got our first entry into the Nasdaq as well. The Dow Jones, sorry, at the big number there at the top. And it seems as though we might hit our hedge. So we're going to be re-hedged there. Most definitely looks like it's going to be the case. Oh, and then from Kevin, hi. Did not know what time to arrive today. What time, British time do we start? So it's actually 2:15 your time that we open the room, Kevin. So everything on the website is labeled our local time, so German time. And good afternoon to Ambioden as well. So very lucky we didn't hit that trade there. So we're coming back up now, and we've entered into that vola box also. Let's see how far it's going to continue to jump. And let's see if New Zealand dollar is going to break or not. Otherwise, I can just close it here manually. And we're coming straight back down there. Here we are, second trade short on that one. And then here we go. So New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Let's get a close on that. There we go. And I'll close that at 90 euro profit there. So a little bit extra. I would ignore this one. This is the hedge release, so 91 euros so far on that. And let's see where the Nasdaq is. Let's see if we're going to break this big number first. Is definitely the next level for us. Ultimately, we've increased that equity there pretty well, but we're going to need to close it. To close our hedge, we'll definitely need to ride the markets far enough up here, probably another 200 points, which I doubt will happen today, but there's always the chance that it could happen. And there we're coming down for the close on this one. And there it closed. Then we can open up that big number once again. Let's take a look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Great close there, perfectly done, perfectly executed. And there we go. There's a third trade on that one. And then what we'll do, we'll open it up on the big number again. So we're coming up to a new daily high there, which we can get out over here if we're on the 5 minutes. And actually see the, it says this is the daily high here, but it's not. This is. And there we go on the bottom big number in the Dow Jones as well. So we've got 2 trades closed so far, 20 euros. Trade number 3 as well. Let's see if it's gonna break this daily high here. Okay, trade number 4. What I'll do here now, I'm just going to extend these take stop losses just in preparation in case we're going to get a big movement in one direction or another. And there we come very close to our take profit there on the Dow Jones. Yet again, exactly on that daily pivot. So once we've managed to break up and stay above this big number, then what we can do is move over to our other chart and we can actually steadily move this pending hedge now above the original closing point, just to solidify some profits in. However, first of all, we will need to break that big number. And coming very close to the close now on the Dow Jones. Extremely close. Let's see if it's flipped now. This resisting area here as a new supporting zone. Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you very much. Ich glaube, ich komme ein bisschen Erkältung, aber kein Corona. So maybe coming for trade number 5 now. Let's see if it's going to break it on the retest. Trade number 5. And now I'm going to definitely extend that towards here. And see exactly how far we can ride this wave. I think we got a close there on our trade. Nicely done. So now we're going to just reactivate that bottom big number again. And let's see how far this market is going to continue. And here we go. So just keep an eye on the equity there coming back up to the 14, which means we're about 2K away from closing this altogether. However, could be some resistance here at this top line. Previous high over there. But first of all, what we're going to have to do before we move this now, we're going to have to wait for the market to retest. So now it took us a while to break this barrier. We're going to have to wait for the market to retest there on the, like what it's doing now, coming back down. And then as we receive that retest probably of this big number, we want to wait for the next candle and continue to move up. At that point, we can then move this pending hedge above and secure, like that would be a secured profit of, I don't know, 10 points, for an example, 12 points. And there comes Nasdaq. And there we are, above the original. And here we're probably going to receive a pullback. What else are we? We have any other trades in? Oh, yeah, we do. Our first trade in on the Dow Jones, big number there also. And there we go. We can get a manual close on these, as I'm pretty sure when it reaches that zone, we're going to get a pullback. So let's go in, secure some extra. I'm going to close that one, 5 trades. And then I'm just going to reopen that big number again. So there we are back over the 14K. So now we're less than 2K away from closing this hedge once and for all. Yes, we did, Akim. We've done it and closed it. And it would have continued, of course. However, we did secure some very good profit on that, 91 euros. So maybe 0.5% of our actual account balance there, nearly. However, the important one. Oh, where are we? There it is. There's Dow Jones still in the first trade short. And if we take a look now we've got that rebound pretty much exactly at the point there at the top of this resistance zone. The risk and yeah, so we just use a set 4 on there, Akeem. Set 4, plain old set 4. We did actually have it a bit different, so stop. Move it down. We did actually have it just here, and the stop loss was just below the daily pivot there, and then we extended it. We extended the take profit to around here. Nearly a one-on-one. Oh, we'll try it, Kevin. Is that a bit bigger for you? A little bit better? Okay. So, take a look at gold quick. So unfortunately, we're not going to get the buy signal because we already had the signal here, but the daily pivot was in the way. But the interesting one is definitely here. So where are we? Coming up to the tops here. Stop out, stops. It would be amazing if we could get a close on this trade once and for all. There we are. Slowly building up. And then most definitely looking for a retracement at that daily pivot. Ultimately, what we're going to have to wait for before we can then readjust our pending hedge is for the market to breach daily pivot, big number, or this mapped out line of ours. And we're going to have to wait for a retest and a continuation, as we do need to leave it some leeway or just a little bit of buffer space to be able to take these sort of, as you see, spikes here before it moves up. We don't want to put this too close to where the market is now, and then the market dips down on a retracement and continues to move up, and it would ruin the whole plan. So we need to keep an eye on it, stay on top. Keep an eye on the equity. We're about 1,500 away now. And where are we here? So we're in the third trade short now on the Dow Jones. So I think we've got our fourth trade now on the Dow Jones, currently long. Take a look over here, okay. Got daily pivot there. Going to be a tricky one to So a question there from Akim. Why did I trade the New Zealand dollar? So New Zealand dollar, US dollar, we made that one. We just got there in time for the signal. We were actually 8 minutes late on the signal, but the market was still around the area. We got there pretty much just in time to make it. Otherwise, usually with these ones, you have to get there as the signal is being created. Otherwise, you're going to be late for it. So we took that one, put a set 4, normal set 4. Usually with the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, we would take a set 4 and then reduce the risk to 1. However, I'm sick, so living on the edge. No. Yeah, we were just there at the right time, right place. Yeah, Akim. We did move the take profit, but I actually closed it before. So we had our take profit was actually placed around here. 1 second. So exactly where it was placed. It was actually placed around here, and we closed it just there. Kein Problem, Akim. Okay, Ronald. Ronald's already had a great day, finishing early. Nothing wrong with the early finish on a Monday. So what we can probably do now is we can actually use these support and resistance zones as guidance for our pending hedge order. Like I said, I want to breach daily pivot or the big number. So it was a daily pivot big number or this mapped out line which we have. Ultimately, we would love to be as far up as possible before moving that pending hedge. However, it can't always go our way. So considering that this top layer here would also be acting as the last sort of point of resistance that we had, going off of that it could be now be flipped over and be acting as a supporting zone. We would usually want to wait for the retest and wait for the confirmation, which we could be receiving now. If that is the case, then we can just hike this back up towards here. And now we've increased our position by 65 points. So we've gained 65 points on that trade. Bitcoin still going, coming up to the 58. Oh, And there goes the close on the Dow Jones. Unfortunately, there's no other. Oh, we do have one actually. Close that one. Let's take the big Vola box there. See if we can get in. So Vola box trade. Market's really pumping up. So there we are, resisting at the daily pivot. Just from the next resistance zone there. To be honest, I would be really surprised if we do make it up to the 15,000. New Zealand dollar, US dollar still going. And close this one. Maybe we can go over here and take that big number. So, what else do we have on? So Volabox doing pretty well. Waiting for the hike over towards the big number, 34.9, and then we have the big number behind that, the big 35. Just taking a look at the Volabox. Volabox trades we've done pretty well. 5 trades closed, 62 euros and 75 cents. So really good. Pair that up with the New Zealand dollar US dollar trade of 91. We've done about 150. So maybe 0.7% so far. Not to mention the extra 65 points here, which we've managed to close in. So we don't actually need that much further until we're up and over the 15K, and then it puts us back to the start of last month. So I reckon just above here will be 15K, and if we get there, then we can actually close it if we want to. But I will just move the pending hedge down to just below the 14.9 once we get a breach over this area in the Fibonacci and have a retest. So there we are over the daily pivot. Let's keep an eye on the Dow Jones here. Where is it? It's coming very close now to the close. We could actually just close this and take the big number trade instead, which I think I might do. Yeah, we can do that. We'll close that one and we'll take a big number trade. Now we are above the daily pivot as well. And coming up to the 15 very quick. I suppose as soon as we get over that big number, we're in. Short retest on the daily pivot. So just waiting for the markets at the moment. Dow Jones is still pushing quite strong. The best goal for us today would be for us to be able to move our pending hedge order, which we have set up just here, to be able to move this pending hedge order at a sort of break, at a hedge position where we're at 15K. So then no matter what happens, it's going to hedge at 15K, and then we're going to have 15K equity, which is pretty much exactly where we started off last month. So it does mean that a month has run away from us. However, we do have then the option to try and release it and gain some more, or what we can do is we can just call it quits, close it at 15, and move on from there. Basically, it's also fine. And Dow Jones had a bit of a retracement there as well. Straight into the resistance zone. Previous high from Thursday. On here, we did break it. We have broken that top resistance line. However, we do have that big number, and then we've got some free space just here. Oh, definitely a difficult area there on that 14,900. And let's wait and see. I feel like I want to move this up. It's probably around here just to solidify at least 14K. Probably coming in for trade number 2 there as well. I'm going to solidify that 16K, that 14K, sorry. It's going to move that pending hedge here. Now, how many points have we got in? 94 points on the market on our hedge. So, very good gains. Now, slowly, we're going to be able to release our hedge like this. As you guys have been watching over the last 3 weeks. When was this? 23rd? Yeah, around 3 weeks now. Just requires a little bit of patience. Okay, I'm still not expecting to be rid of this hedge today, if I'm honest. I think even if we're able to get rid of it this week, that would be a very good achievement. We could have been out of it last week, in fact, but unfortunately, I had a situation like this where the market had continued to go up. It came up. Let's say that it broke above the daily, the big number here, and then we had a retracement right down to our pending hedge, and then the market went up 600-700 points. No, not so many, maybe 400 points. But it happens. We'll wait for a close on this Dow Jones trade. Once we get a close on the Dow Jones trade, we'll probably leave it there for the day. I'll be back in 2 minutes, guys, okay? So what is going on? Did we get another trade? Yes, we got a big number trade. Big number trade. How's our Dow Jones looking? Trade number 3. And quite a heavy retracement there from the big number. 14.9 was expected, however. Wow, the New Zealand dollar, US dollar really went for it today. I don't know if anyone else took that trade, but really, really good signal there. So now we're just waiting. It's not like we have any news announcements today. You're still in it, did you say, Achim? Where are we at there? I think we probably hit that 15K mark just over there, above that 14.9. Oh, number 4, you've got a Swiss box trade on. Number 4. Okay, okay. I see. Set 4. So just want to squeeze over to this one now, because I know that big number is equal to the 15 that we want. So ultimately, we're going to definitely want the market to be around this zone before we then move our pending hedge to the big number. There we are at the 15. And there goes the Dow Jones as well. Coming into trade number 4. Sorry there, Akim. You got a question. A question. My Swiss box shows 22.5%, 0.059 in terminal is gewinnt by. Are you talking about mine, or are you seeing yours? Hmm. Good question. Well, unless you've messed around with it, because if we go on here, you can see that this one says 47%. And then we go to the Vola box, and it says 29%. Okay, trust the terminal over the Swiss box. Terminal is always correct. Swiss box should always be correct, but there can be some slight differences that might make it off key. So if we go over to, where is that one? It's in the third trade as well. Ultimately, once everything is closed, it will then it will reevaluate itself and work it all out. But there we go. I think Dow Jones is coming to the close. And up, and there's that close. And now we're just waiting for this one now. As I said, what I want to do, wait till we're back over. Retracement. However, let's check and see where we're at with the Vola box. So 7 trades closed, 0.39%, 82 euros and 56 cents, plus the 91 that we've already locked in, so 170. Then we're probably at 0.8% for the day. Close that up a little bit further. I think we're over the 100 points now. Yeah, 110 points. And let's see. Once we get a close on this one at that, I'm definitely going to move this just over that big number is where I want to move it, because I want to solidify that 15K break-even point. So we've got a few more minutes left. Otherwise, we can just hedge this one. Maybe a small retest on the big number. So with this trade, or just in general, with any trade, so you want to look, you turn the box lines on, Kevin, and you can click on the eye. And it's going to tell you how many trades you have. So I have 11 trades or 12 trades. So I always want to make sure I've got 3 trades left over to make a hedge release, right? So I would hedge on the 8th. However, if there's like a big news announcement coming out, or if there's something that you're waiting for, you're experienced enough to tell when there's a chart formation or a breakout pattern coming, then you know, let it go further. But you must know that you've only got these trades, and then once that fails, or if that fails, then you have to work around something like what we're doing now for the past 2 weeks. But that's why we do a lot of it in the room together. So if you've got 10 trades, hedge on the 6th or 7th. If you have 12, hedge on the 8th or 9th. But ultimately, the demo account is there for you to try these things out and decide which one you're more comfortable with the hedge releasing. Definitely need a lot of practice with hedging and hedge releasing. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hedge this trade, and we're gonna come back to this tomorrow. Yeah. So trade is hedged. I'm going to leave this pending hedge trade below the daily pivot by a few pips, and that's going to be it until tomorrow. I'm going to keep an eye on this myself. Of course, if the market moves up, or if you notice that the market's moving up, expect to come back tomorrow with me having moved my pending hedges as far as the market moves up. However, if not, if it does reach down here, then you know that the pending hedge has been hit, and we will resume this tomorrow at same time, same place. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please write them in on the email. For anyone who's watching through the live stream channels and would like to test these tools out for themselves, please visit the website www.TradersClub24.com. Click on the 30-day free trial, sign up with your email address, name and number, and someone will be in contact with you shortly afterwards. Failing that, we do have WhatsApp and Skype available at all times. So thank you very much. Everyone in the live room, I'll see you the same time tomorrow. Okay, so good afternoon and good trading.